Oh, well, hello. Welcome to Writer's Life, place where the sights, sounds, smells, taste my particular writer's life, and where you get the truth about the writer's life. Subscribe if you haven't already. The like button and the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on one single exciting video and how exciting they are. No, I shouldn't be that demeaning about my own brilliant work. Anyway, so it's someone asked a good friend, writing friend of mine, and all around great person, asked me if I was going to be going to Thrillerfest this year. I don't know yet. Probably not. And like this, I start getting the guilt around this time every year, April, because that's when people really start signing up for there's like a ton of like writers conferences and whatever. It's kind of an industry. And people go and sit on panels and they talk to shop and all that sort of stuff. And you feel kind of important when you're doing it and all that. That's cool, if that's your thing. And there's a few in the fall, like Bouchercon's a big one if you're a mystery writer like me, but I think I've been to 2 in 25 years. So, and even when I was up for an award, the Shamus Award, the Mystery Writers Association, I asked my publisher, I'm like, if I win, would you accept it for me? And he was like, oh, well, I'd rather you be there, but yeah, all right, sure. And I did win, So, and that year I won Best Paperback Original, the Thriller Award for Best Paperback Original for Moonlight Weeps, and I won the Shamus Award for Best Paperback Original for Moonlight Weeps. I won the Shamus Award for that. So in a way, I kind of feel like like I kind of took my awards and ran, but that's not the case. It's not the case at all. Number one, there's like the financial side of it. These conferences are extremely expensive. For me to like stay in New York City for really, it's potentially 4 nights. That's like what, almost $2,000. And then the Thriller Fest itself is about, I think, about $900. Then you get food and all that sort of stuff or whatever. Maybe 1 or 2 of my publishers might invite me to dinner. Maybe not even. I don't know. I've sometimes been there just on my own, and other times, publishers have treated me. But regardless, it's still expensive. And Bouchercon, I think this year is in San Diego, so there's like $1,000 flight, hotels for 4 nights, and everything else. So my travel budget for every year is around $5,000. Sometimes I pinch out six grand or something like that, but I want to use that money for my adventures. Like I'm going to Egypt in a week and a half for 2 weeks, and that's oh, hang on a second. Hang on 1 second. Can we ever get that? I'm making it. I'll be right out. Sorry about that. There's been construction going on in here, so it's been nonstop construction workers here all day, and yesterday, the day before, and there's going to continue to be. The apartment's getting completely redone. Anyway, so there's the financial component, and I also want to spend that money on the rest of the money. Excuse me, lunch on my extended stay in Italy in the fall, which is what I usually do. And this year, I'm actually thinking of staying a full year in Italy now that the kids' days grown up and all that kind of stuff. So there's that. 2, I'd rather be writing. whenever I do make it to one of these conferences, I always find myself held up in my hotel. Hold up in my hotel? All right. Well, anyway, in my hotel room, writing because that's what I do. I mean, have you ever walked the floors of these conferences? They're boring as fuck. Um, so I mean, should I be, like, hey, good to see you, support my colleagues and publishers. Half of the publishers aren't even speaking to me anymore because I've like I've asked for my rights back and all that shit, and I'm a very independent guy, and none of those guys appreciate my independent stance. I'm going to tell you that right now. But so in a way, like I waste a lot of the money I spend. So okay, and three, um, it gives me agita being at conferences. It just does because there's like a hierarchy. Even I want to say oligarchy, but it's more like a hierarchy. It's kind of like high school. The older guys that like you see on the Barnes and Noble's table, I'm pretty sure they get like freebies. They get to go for free because they're like draws, maybe like the Lee Childs. And like, and they take them out to dinner and shit. And they're like, you're not invited. You're like a mid-list author. So fuck you. Even though like I've sold like 1.5 million books or something. I don't know. So it just, I don't know. It gives me agita. Like I don't really particularly like or enjoy hanging around with a room full of writers. I just don't. Everybody's sizing each other up, and they'd stab you in the back if they could. And you're supposed to suck up to the bookstore owners. That was one of the big things at Bouchercon back in the day, like the late 90s, early 2000s. You were really supposed to suck up to the bookstore owners, and I don't do that. And you're supposed to suck up to the agents who are there, and you're supposed to suck up to the publishers who are there. And I don't bend over and or suck up anything. I just do my thing. So that's another reason why. So if I'm not going to be happy about going, what's the point? The only reason I went to Bouchercon last time was because it was in 2013 was because it was in Albany. Proximity. I didn't have to pay for a hotel or anything like that. I could come and go as I wanted. I was on a couple of panels and that was it, whatever. But then there are like some of the authors, like they go to like every single conference. They just love it. They're like conference sluts. I could tell you some names, but I'm not. What's the point? Like literally conference sluts. It's like I don't get it. Like, can't you think of anything more interesting to do with your life? In my opinion, I don't know, but to each his own, right? All right, that's it. Someone's chiming in, Mr. Philly. Bouchercon was in my hometown, Philadelphia. Go figure, big Philly. Before, but was too busy at work to go. Your money's way better spent on your other adventures. Yeah, see? That's what I'm talking about, man. See, this guy gets it. This guy totally gets it. Big Philly. Glad I found you. It is. It's, believe it or not, Hemingway used to say the same thing. He's like, I think his quote was something like the Penn organization or he said in his acceptance speech for the Nobel Prize, something to the tune of, and John Hemingway, if you're out there, correct me. He said something about like, he's like, there's organizations and conferences and awards or whatever that, help a writer feel less isolated and more, like there's a sense of community. And he didn't say that, he didn't fumble through it just like I did. He said it in very, very Hemingway-esque manner. Because preceding that statement, or preceding that observation, he said that writing at base is a lonely life. And that's an exact quote. And he just said, like you can go to these things and they'll make you feel less isolated. and therefore you won't be feel, theoretically speaking, as lonely. But I go to these and I feel even more lonely. Because like I said, it's clicky. So anyway, Mr. Philly again. Hemingway said writers groups help loneliness, but not writing. Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And he says, I love Papa in that speech. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great speech. I used to have it on tape, on cassette tape. Remember cassette tapes? You'd rewind the song while you're driving. That's how old I am. All right. Big Philly, thanks for chiming in. I know I still owe everybody an AMA. Perhaps this Friday around. Maybe I'll do it like around 4:00. I'll try to spread the word. All right. Friday, 4:00 AMA. All right. I got to stick to it. All right, you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow, God willing. And ciao, ciao.